Hey guys, today we're taking a look at the Mongoose Grit. I got this bike from Walmart once I saw that it was still on sale. Shipped to my doorstep, the final price was $402. All things considered, that's pretty cheap for a gravel bike. I'll be going over the positives and the negatives that I found so far. But do note the added accessories: the fenders, bottle cage, cargo rack, panniers. These were all added and did not come with the bike. Kev Central already did a video on this bike. There will be a link in the description. I want you to note though that some of the components that came on my bike differ than the bike featured on Kev Central's. So let's start with taking a quick look around the bike. The blue paint job is a nice touch and pairs well with the black accents. It may not be the best for being visible on the road, but as you see, I've removed my reflectors, so I won't be really riding on the road anyways. But I just love the blue metallic paint job. It's one of the main reasons why I bought the bike. It reminded me of my Iron Horse Maverick when I got it new. All around, it just has a sexy curb appeal. I might have to buy a better bike lock. Moving on. They say that the bike weighs 30 pounds, but it's so well balanced that it's still easy to handle. I take my bike in and put it on the wall after each use, which requires me to lift it over my head. The fit and finish for the most part seems good. Nothing rattles and the bike just feels solid. But there was one thing. It's right there. To Mongoose's credit, it came out of the box fine, but it was when I took the wheel off to add the fender that I run into an issue. After mounting the wheel again, for some reason I couldn't get the brake pad to stop rubbing, so I adjusted the caliper. This is when I noticed if I properly adjusted the pads, then the bracket from the brake caliper would rub against the rotor. To make matters worse, I didn't realize it was the brake caliper at first. I thought it was just the pads rubbing, so I wasted about a half hour trying to figure that out. To fix this, I just took the caliper off and licked that part of the bracket with a file a few times. Then it was much easier to adjust the rear brake. My Derailleur and Freewheel seem to be different than Kev Central's, which I'm not complaining, just noting, because I actually like the granny gear to grind up hills. I've already put it to use, and it was able to get me up my steepest hill. In fact, this bike climbs better than my trail bike that has wider tires and pretty extreme gearing. I also want to note that I had an issue dialing in my gears. Maybe I'm just not very experienced with these kind of shifters, but the left shifter actually takes 2 half steps to shift into the larger cog. To shift, you can do 2 small clicks or make 1 large swipe. For me, it might take some practice, because there was one time where I thought I took 1 large swipe, but only a half step, which I didn't realize at first. So the chain was grinding on the derailleur for a moment while I was momentarily confused as to what was going on. Furthermore, when I unboxed the bike, I thought the shifters needed dialing because I was only taking half steps and not a whole step, which is when I started messing around with them. On Mongoose's behalf, it came out the box working. I just didn't know how to properly work them. And they were not exactly like mountain bike trigger shifters. But with some practice and a little patience, I got them working properly again. Again, this is my first bike with hoods, and it only took about a day of riding to get used to them. Taking a look at the frame again, the mini frame bosses made it easy to mount my fenders and rack. This bike is much better off-road than I thought it would be. The following video was taken on a very wet day. So far, I'm really happy with the bike. Even though it's over 30 pounds, with the fenders, rack, bags, and equipment, it feels very nimble, stable, and fast. And climbing is easy. It's exactly what I've been looking for in a bike.